I've got Conerly. I've got Conerly. I think I got him at 41, 42 in Harris 100. I mean, if Joshua is saying Jackson, Booker, Ursery, I don't want to touch at all. I don't want Ursery. He is stiff. He's strong in a run blocking, bunch of down blocks, those kind of things, pretty good. But pass protection it's going to be an issue. I think you could probably play him at right tackle. I don't want Ursery. I mean, you took him at 58. I'd be like, okay, I can see that. At 58, I do not want to take Ursery at 25. That would be in order. I have them Booker, Jackson, Conerly, and then Ursery. Conerly is, I think, first of all, Conerly's young. I think he's 20. So he's a young dude with a lot of room to grow.
Amobi Okoye. Okay, come on.
Yeah, back. Exactly. Amobi Okoye. How did that work? Did you guys know that Amobi Okoye is 16 years old? God. That was my first year in Houston. It was like everybody I talked to was like, yeah, man, we just drafted Amobi Okoye. Did you know he's 16 or 18 or whatever the hell he was? I'm like, yeah, I
think he became 12 by the time you talked about it. He was always, though, I don't know if you were playing Madden, he was always the first pick, one of the early picks in Madden franchise mode, because you had him for damn near 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. He's 20 years old, and he's still younger than Joe Flacco. I think Conerly he's really good at a lot of things. I don't think that Conerly's elite in any one way. I mean, he doesn't have elite arm length. He doesn't have elite, feet, but it's good enough. He likes I'm trying to think of the right way of saying this. Like, he appreciates the run blocking aspect of it. It's not going to be, well, I'm out here to pass block. They don't pay me to run block. No, they pay you to be an all-round tackle. Man, I feel like I'm having this conversation all over again. But I think Conerly is a guy that will take interest in the run game. At the Senior Bowl, there were times where his reps were really good. Like, he had a couple of great reps against Mike Green, who was going to go in the first round. Then there was a rep where Mike Green just ran him flat over, just, long-armed him and just right into the turf. But I'd much rather bet on Conerly than I would a lot of other guys that I could play at tackle. Now, I do think that Conerly could play guard if it came to. I don't know that I'd bet on it, but if I needed to, I think I could play him at guard. And so there's at least some position flex there. Donovan Jackson ends up being kind of interesting one, because I think the college football playoff where he had to play tackle when Simmons got hurt was like, yeah, guy played tackle at Episcopal in Bel Air, and you thought that's what he was going to play. And then kind of like at Ohio State, a lot of guys, we've seen this. You talked about this a lot. Gray Zabel played tackle, he's moving into guard. Some guys coming to the NFL, they're going to move into guard and then move back out to tackle. Maybe Kelvin Banks does that. Well, I think Donovan Jackson was asked to do that at Ohio State so he could get on the field. So they moved him into guard. They had Paris Johnson. I can't remember who the other tackle was, but they had two tackles, Mumford, I think. And then it was, okay, Jackson's going to move from guard out to tackle, but then they had kind of a dearth of interior offensive linemen. So they're like, Donovan, we got to leave you at guard. We're going to bring these other tackles in, including Josh Simmons. And so they left him at guard at that particular time. So I think, sometimes out of necessity, you find something like, oh, damn, I didn't know that guy could do that. I think Jackson showed, hey, he can play tackle. I think he could play right tackle. I would want him as a guard, because I just would like to get his power and his athleticism. I think he's a better athlete than Booker, but I think Booker just has heavier hands. Like, I feel like, whereas Jackson might be Muhammad Ali, he can move and stick and move. I feel like Tyler Booker's George Foreman, if we use a boxing analogy. And so,
I think I might rather have Ali. I think I might rather have Ali if we're using the boxing analogy, John.
Yeah, I mean, I think Donovan Jackson's the guy that I don't see why they wouldn't like him either. So I wouldn't mind Jackson, Zabel, Booker. I like Conerly. I had this, my gut feel is that Conerly is going to end up being a guy at 25 that those guys we talked about, Booker, Zabel, Donovan Jackson, maybe not Donovan. I think Donovan might be there, and then it becomes Donovan Jackson versus Conerly at 25. At that point, if I've got Donovan Jackson, Conerly, but then I've got one of the receivers I like, at that point I might go wide receiver, because I like the wide receiver impact a little bit more, because the guys that I really think that I would do no matter what, they're off the board. So at that point I might say, okay, I've got my receivers rated higher than I got these offensive linemen, so Am I going to trust my board at that point? Am I going to trust that this receiver is ready to hire this offensive lineman? Let's make the wide receiver. And then, hey, if we want to get that offensive lineman, then maybe we might need to make some moves in the second round to get Abuka at 25 and then maybe go get Donovan in the mid 30s or, go get Conerly in the mid 30s at that point.